everybody. My name is Omar. I am your co-host on DesignMakePlay, and today we will be interviewing our CEO and founder, Cyri Jones. Our fall offerings are set to kick off tomorrow, so we just want to go through our program just so you all know what we have planned for this fall. So, Cyri, do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure, yeah, my name is Cyri Jones, and happy to be involved here with DesignMakePlay. We've got some really exciting programs getting going, starting up. The first one is called Maker Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
And Maker Mondays is a program where one of our lead engineers, so far it's Zachary or Fardeen, or Kusha actually, we've got these project kits. So we have an LED clock programmable, we have an MP3 player, we also have an RC car, and an LED nightlight are just a few of them. There's also a robotic finger. So these are kind of the project kits, and what the kids do from 10:30 in the morning until 3:30 is they build the project kit. And due to the COVID-19 situation, we're offering these remotely, so people can kind of just jump in online and get guided through a live stream. We ship all the materials ahead of time. We also have a small opportunity for 6 kids here at our studio. So we're not having large classes here, so we can remain social distancing. And so ideally it would be like a small pod of students that are from the same kind of bubble, that maybe the same school, or a group of kids that are homeschooling, that kind of thing. And that's a maximum of 6. So looking forward to that one.
Mm-hmm. So you say this Maker Monday program, it comes with like these cool maker-based projects like RC car, LED clock, and basically they get all the parts and they learn how to put them together?
Yes, yeah, so they learn about the concepts behind whatever the theme of the project kit is. So for example, with the LED clock, they learn about time and the concepts of time. It's really cool with multicolored LEDs, so they learn about color and theory behind color.
Okay.
Refraction of light. So they learn a lot of the science. We call it stealth learning because the kids don't realize that they're learning while they're learning. There's all this really valuable content. We tie it into the grade 4 to 7 curriculum for things like the applied technology design kind of the curriculum, as well as art curriculum and science. And so they learn a lot, but most importantly they have a lot of fun, and they just build these kits, and they're really proud of it's very tactile. So you're like putting the screwdrivers in, and with the acrylic pieces you're doing electronics, it's a very engaging learning kind of session.
Awesome. Zachary always encourages students to take things apart just to learn them. That's how a lot of great engineers have actually learned a lot of cool things, just taking things apart. So it's really cool that you have these projects based around that type of idea.
Yes.
But moving on, what about our DesignMakePlay Learning Pod program?
Yes, so that one also we're really proud of. It's quite, we think, innovative in that it combines some local face-to-face learning with a small, bubble of students, maximum 6 kids, here at our headquarters, our studio headquarters at Maker Lab in North Vancouver on East 1st. And so we have a group of kids here locally doing the program, but then we also live stream it to learning pods around the world. Actually, we have some in different countries around the world that are going to be participating, and so they can participate. The curriculum is DesignMakePlay. So we have one instructor, Ella, our materials engineer and designer. She leads the design section for about an hour and a half, and that one also starts at 10:30 and goes to 3:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then there's also a session after school locally here, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 3:30 to 5:30. So you can either come 3 days a week, all like in 1 week to get the week sessions done, or you can do it in 1 day during the day. The second part of it is Make, and that's Zachary leads that one, and we're also focusing on the LED clock with that. And then Play is focused on floorball, so it's kind of a modern form of hockey. It's really a lot of fun. Kids usually like it, even if they don't like hockey so much. This is kind of like a lighter version of it. And it's kind of a cool combination of face-to-face with some local kids in our sort of studio audience, as we call it, our participants, and then these people from around the world, and everyone can interact with each other. So it's a blended model. It's not purely online, it's not purely face-to-face, it's a mixture. And we're happy to launch. We actually have our first one starting tomorrow afternoon, and then the next one start next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Awesome. Now, you said that this will be happening out of your East First office. As I understand, we have another office opening up in Shipyards, right?
That's right, yeah. Very excited to announce that. So that is coming up. It's looking sometime in November. We're still kind of doing all the renovations and going through some of the steps before we can open. But that's at the Shipyards development in North Vancouver, just a minute away from where the sea bus arrives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful area. In the winter, they have a skating rink, a free skating rink outside, and then in the summer, it's like a water park and covered area. So the Shipyards, we're going to be offering our some of these small face-to-face programs, maximum 6 kids again. And also a lot of them we can offer outside because there's a big covered area. So we're going to be having sports programs on Sundays, and it's going to be sports tied in with science and technology. So half the time they'll be just kind of playing and learning about sports. The other time they'll learn about the science behind the sports. And yeah, it's a really cool development. So we're looking forward to that.
Perfect. Now, what about those drop-in STEAM classes for people that may not want to commit to a full curriculum?
Yeah, so we know that in Canada, approximately 15% of all the school kids, elementary school and high school, or just from K to 12, are not in schools. They're doing their schooling from home, and in the U.S. it's even quite a bit higher. So there's a lot of states where all the kids are doing their school from home. So this is creating a lot of challenge for the parents who also quite often have to work home because of work restrictions and social isolating and just company policies to work from home. And it's really tough when you're trying to get your deadline done for work at the same time you've got a kid or a couple of kids that are requiring a lot of involvement from you. So we've created this so that mainly for like parents, they can benefit while they're working from home. And unlike a lot of programs where you have to sign up for like 8 weeks or like a long-term kind of thing and you have to schedule it ahead of time, this one it's like if it's today and you say, hey, I need some help for a couple hours, we run 10 classes a day for ages grades 1 to 3, 4 to 7, and 8 to 12, and lots of different topics to pick from. And so that way the kids have a lot of fun. They're doing really engaging online classes with their team here. And then the parents have a little bit of a break. And then companies, they also, it's great for them because in fact companies can purchase some of these packages and then offer to their employees as a benefit. So they can say, okay, this fall you've got $500 towards courses to help while you're working at home, so that if you've got kids, then that's going to help them. And so it's kind of a win-win-win for the company, the employee, and the children that are learning the content.
And in terms of registering for these drop-in classes, can you register like the day of, or like is there like a waiting period where you have to like register beforehand?
Yeah, no, anytime before the class starts. So if the class starts at 10:30 and it's 10:25 and you suddenly realize, I could really use a 2-hour kind of break from assisting your child for a little bit, then yeah, you can sign up. You just go to zenmakerlab.com, click on register, and it'll show the calendar, or you can search by topic or by age, and then yeah, you're all set. Now these courses we do run either like 4 or 8 of them, like in sort of a series. So if it turns out it is something that the child likes and wants to continue, they can definitely do that, like the following week at the same time. But they're all self-contained, so you don't have to take class number 1 in order to do class number 2. You also don't need any materials. All you need is a computer or a tablet or an iPad or a phone, just to be able to be able to communicate with our instructor.
Now, in terms of materials, we do also provide materials for students that relate to our design, make, play philosophy, correct?
Yes, yeah. So that program does require a supply and equipment kit. It's called the DesignMakePlay pack, and that's pretty cool. It's a mixture of design. You get a bunch of kind of art materials. You get the LED clock kit and electronics and a screwdriver to be able to put all that together. And then for the play, you get a floorball stick and 3 floorballs, and you get some cones, and also a measuring stick. And so the idea is with the sports one is we're going to focus on data analytics, so that in addition to getting some physical exercise and activity, the participants will also measure their progress, and then we'll put that into like a Google spreadsheet, and they can learn concepts of graphing and things like that. So that one does require materials, and so to book the learning pod, if you're not local, you would have to do that fairly soon, so that we have time to ship the materials to you. And you can also get it on its own, the just Design Make Play pack. without the Learning Pod program, if it's something that a parent wants to just go through it themselves with a child rather than have one of our instructors in our program. And that one comes with a bunch of videos as well on how to do some of the content and online support for them. So the most engaging way of doing it is through our DesignMakePlay Learning Pod program. But sometimes if it just doesn't work with some of the schedule, because that is a synchronous program, everyone starts at the same time, ends at the same time. Mm-hmm. If a parent really needs extra flexibility and has the time to deliver it themselves with their child or children, then that DesignMakePlay path is good.
Mm-hmm. So by the end of the 4-week program, children will have gone through basically all the aspects of design, make, and play. They learn aspects of coding.
Yes, yeah, they'll have learned a lot of stuff. They learned about electronics. They'll learn a bit about how to program their electronic device. So they'll learn about coding. They'll learn about design, prototyping, iteration, physical exercise, activities, physical literacy, graphing, data analytics. So it's 5 hours per week of material, and actually it's 4.5 of the actual instructional content, and then there's some breaks and things. Ends up being about 6 hours. So it's about 20 times 4 weeks. So in total, they're getting a real solid chunk of content.
Mm-hmm. It's good that you figured out we have figured out a way to make learning all these somewhat complex subjects fun, because I remember me personally growing up as a kid, people would tell me that I should learn math because it would help me out in the future, but no one explained it in a way that actually captured my interest.
Yes.
So I kind of wish personally that somebody had come up with a program like this for me when I was growing up.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
It would have made like all these complex subjects related to science and technology a lot more interesting for somebody like me. So
yes, if you see the purpose of math within the context of a project, kids love math.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's it means to an end. I know if I can just calculate this, then I'll be able to code that, or I'll be able to build that. But yeah, just learning math for the sake of math, and that's hard because you don't really see the application.
Mm-hmm. Now you said that we'll have small groups of maybe 4 to 6 students in our learning pods physically here, while we live stream to students around the world who can tune in and interact with our instructors. Now, as far as I know, we do have some learning pod programs going on in Colombia. I think we're working on one in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, yeah, those are some of the ones that are in the works, possibly a few in the United States as well. Mm-hmm. And then mostly will be probably kind of local here. But so yeah, it's kind of cool because then kids, in addition to seeing their peers within their kind of learning bubble or class or at home, if they're with some other kids or even on their own, then they have a chance to interact with students around the world. And it's kind of interesting with COVID-19, the whole planet is facing the same problem. And so whether you're from a rich background or a poor background or a different language or different region, there's a lot of kids going through the same issues of learning from home. And so yeah, that's one of the most kind of exciting parts of it is that they really have a chance to communicate with people beyond their usual peer group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, globalization's a big thing. By the time they grow up, they'll probably be working with people around the world. So it's better to get introduced to that type of diversity at a younger age.
Yes, yeah. I mean, just even our own team here at Zen Maker Lab, I guess there's about 15 of us, and we come from all corners of the earth and languages and walks of life. And I think it makes a really powerful situation when you have all those different perspectives. And I know it's really helped us here at Zen Maker Lab. And it's great that in Vancouver, where we're based, it's super diverse. I think it's about 40% of the people are born outside of Vancouver that live here, one of the highest in the world. And as a result, we have all these talented people that speak all these different languages in different countries. And so we're now able to offer programs around the world. Eventually, we'll probably move to having programs in different languages. So far, it's English, but some of the students that tune into the programs, they're learning English as a second language wherever they are. So they get to learn about technology plus English at the same time.
Have you ever thought of providing English as a second language courses here?
Well, kind of indirectly, we don't have it focused on the grammar and just pure kind of ESL kind of training. But what we do is have these technology courses that people can take, and so they kind of learn about English and communications while they're learning about technology. So I guess that's sort of more the area that we've been focusing on so far.
Awesome. Now, we've talked about our programs that are geared towards more elementary school students, grades 1 to 4, 4 to 8. stuff like that. What about our advanced STEAM classes?
Yeah, so that's actually, although grade 4 to 7 is kind of like our where we get most of our participants, and we also have some grades 1 to 3. The 8 to 12 is something that our instructors, most of our instructors are extremely smart engineers and educators, and they've got their masters, and some even have PhDs, all that kind of thing. And so they're able to offer really high quality training to these high school students, and they enjoy that because sometimes, and we have really good relationships with secondary schools, and they have amazing teachers as well, but sometimes if you're a full-time teacher, you don't have as much time to keep up with all the latest technology and what's happening, and so most of the engineers that we have here are very much on the cutting edge, and so they can teach these kids things that they probably wouldn't learn until they get into university, if even there. And we do it in a way that's not overwhelming. So so we have Kusha. He's teaching courses in artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, coding, web development are some of the ones that he's doing. We have Fardeen, who's also teaching some of those topics. And so we're really happy to offer. Those ones mainly take place on Saturdays. We have one from 10:30 in the morning till 12:30, both local face-to-face small groups here, as well as online. And then also, I believe it's 1 to 3 or 1:30 to 3:30. You can check all our specific schedule on zenmakerlab.com. Mm-hmm. And then if you click on the register button, then you'll see our registration system in the calendar. There's also a Google Doc that can be linked from our website, and then that kind of shows it from more of a calendar view as well.
Okay. Now, what about this teacher PD program?
Yeah, so that's, we've always worked with teachers since we started back in 2013. We've come into schools. A lot of principals will get us doing in-school programs, and although it's focused on the kids, they tell us privately that one of the reasons they're doing that is so that the teachers that are in the school can also sort of indirectly get trained up on all this applied technology and skills design kind of curriculum. And we've also had dedicated sessions in the past where we go into a school with a group of teachers and we show them about, say, 3D design and 3D printing or Arduino or electronics, and a lot of them really enjoy like some of the feedback we've heard from teachers. We had one recently on a teacher PD day here at ZenMakerLab, and she made an electronics kit, and she said, "Oh, this is the best PD day I've ever done." And I just did rock climbing last week, so like, a lot of fun PD activities and she really liked it. And that's the teachers really enjoy it because they feel kind of intimidated sometimes teaching a lot of this, especially if you're like a grade 1 to 7 teacher and you're not an engineer, you don't come from that background, and you have to cover all the different subjects with your kids. You just can't be an expert at everything. So for them, we've come up with a really cool guide that we're just about to release any day now, called the DesignMakePlay Facilitators Guide. Mm-hmm. And that one covers about 30 video segments that we've done on the DesignMakePlay show with lesson plans, activity worksheets, all the kind of resources they need to be able to have their kids in their classroom do the activities. It doesn't require any supplies or equipment, so that's great. You can just do it with whatever you have at home or the class has. And then it's tied in with the learning outcomes of all the provincial curriculums in Canada. So that's, it's been a huge project getting it to, we're getting very, very close, and we're going to be announcing that in the next couple of days. So teachers, we have also, so we do have this guide, and that's just a free guide that they can sign up for. It's kind of, we wanted to kind of give back and contribute during this crisis period that we're in. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we were able to kind of put together with our team. And it was led by a teacher who teaches information technology in secondary school, and so she was spearheading that. We also offer online training sessions, so teachers or schools who want to be trained up on how to better integrate technology into the classroom, how to integrate science, technology, engineering, art, and math, how to leverage their maker labs during a time of COVID where you have to be extra careful about kids sharing equipment and just the whole setup and flow of the activities that you do in a maker lab. So we have a workshop focused on that. And then we also just have workshops on basic tools like how to use Zoom effectively, how to use Microsoft Teams, because it's been super hard you've got millions of teachers that one day were all face-to-face and then turn a switch and okay, now you're all teaching remotely, and in many cases literally only had a few days to make the transition, and realistically it takes months or if not years to become a good online teacher. And so we're offering some programs to help the teachers there.
Interesting. So we've gone through the main programs. Are there anything else, any other miscellaneous offerings we have that somebody can benefit from? I'm sure we do.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So we talked about some of the student ones. We do have one also for students that's connected in with the Design Make Play show, and that is the Design Make Play class. So it goes from 8:30 till 10:30 Monday to Friday Pacific time, and it ties in with the show. The kids would watch a short segment from the actual live show that day, and then they'd be working on more activities related to that. So they get to interact with the show. So our co-host, as you know, Zachary, he does like maker highlights and showcases some of the cool things that kids have made. And so it's kind of a cool class in that you can have these interactions with the host of the live show as part of your class. So that's we're just getting that started, and so that's open for people that either maybe some of the parents who they put their child in one of our programs that starts at 10:30 to 3:30, and if they need that sort of before camp care from 8:30 to 10:30, it works out well for that. Or if they're just at home and they need some online class for their child. So that's one. We also do that on Mondays and Fridays from 3:30 to 5:30. The same idea, although it's not the live program anymore. It's they're using the same kind of material as what we used in the morning. So there's that program, yeah, I think those are the main ones that we're offering for the kids. One final thing: if you're in a school and you want an after-school program, we used to have like I don't know 20 after-school programs in schools across Lower Mainland. We decided quite intentionally that although some schools were still asking us to come in, we decided not to offer that because if there were any issues with COVID, we didn't want to be our instructors going from school to school, putting them at risk, or putting the schools at risk. If it turns out anyone had any issue, we wouldn't want to be sort of one of those spreader kind of people going from place to place, because we're trying to keep within our bubbles. So instead what we're doing is we do have after school programs that we can run in a school with, if a local parent or a teacher or someone else that's in that sort of local school bubble wants to be a facilitator. They don't have to be the teacher, they don't have to be the expert, but if they can just oversee the kids in the program, we can run it remotely from here. So that's one thing that we've had some interest in from schools. They're kind of waiting a little bit, like usually they've been pretty busy the last few weeks just kind of getting everything open and all their protocols and safety, and so in the next couple of weeks they've said that they want to come back and see if we could organize those in their schools. So a lot of parents still have that as a real need. Like some people are still working in a face-to-face environment. They can't pick up their kids until after school's already done. So so that's one, and then the other one, the Design Make Play packs. We are offering 2 other packs of those in the fall. So we've got Design Make Play Pack 1 right now, and then we're going to have Design Make Play Pack 2 in about a month, and then 3, and they all have different electronics kits, different sports equipment, different art materials. So we're excited to start launching that.
Awesome. Yeah, the Design Make Play pack, I've seen it myself. It comes in like a really cool package. Like I'm sure we've already heard a lot of good feedback in regards to from our students, so we're really excited to give out. I can't wait to see the next 2 ones. We have volume 1. I can't wait to see the next 2 versions.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty good. We've got some electronics planned for the next one. Is an MP3 music player and some cool animation tripods and light boxes. On the design side and the play side, we're going to go with some of the traditional sports: football, soccer, baseball kind of thing. We've got one of the guys who leads our play segment, Rodney. It's kind of like semi-pro baseball player. He's really good and has some good videos. It's just basic how to catch a ball better. My kids were joking with me the other day that I can't throw a football properly. So I gotta review Rodney's video and see, okay, why am I not getting that perfect spiral? How can I do that better? What's the physics behind that? So yeah, that's coming up, and then the third one will involve an RC car, remote controlled car that you can control from your phone on the electronics project kit side, and then I think on the sports side it's going to be table tennis, and we've already got some cool videos of table tennis and how to make your own table tennis player table, so those are some of the kits coming up that are pretty good.
All right, awesome. So registration is officially, you can register on our website, and classes officially kick off tomorrow, right?
Actually, today we have some. So,
September 21st?
Yeah, so we have some of our drop-in classes that if you go to our site and sign up, we do have some that are available kind of right away. We just announced them this weekend, so we've had a lot of good interest from people that are signing up. And the learning pods, those ones we have starting Tuesday tomorrow. So if you're a local person, now's the time to go and jump in to get your spot. We only have a handful of spots for that. Then then they just kind of go out throughout the fall. So we wanted to really cover parents in all the different ways, whether their kids are learning from home or whether they're in school and they're just looking for some after-school support.
Perfect, awesome. So thank you, Cyri, for being here. Thank you for talking to us about our programs, going over everything in greater detail. And we're excited for what this fall has to offer.
Yes, it's they say necessity is the mother of all invention, and so there's been a lot of need to change and pivot amongst lots of people and educators, schools, companies. And I think we're actually better off for it. We've come up with some things that we probably should have done, earlier. That now we just have more impetus to really leverage technology and leverage different approaches to blended learning that are quite effective.
Awesome. All right. So again, thank you for being here. Cyri Jones, he is our founder and CEO here at ZenMaker Lab. I am your co-host, Omar, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Take care. See you tomorrow.